Okay, let's wrap up minerals. Iron is the last mineral that we're going to discuss, and you do need to know the chart for iron. It aids in the formation of hemoglobin and in antibody formation as well. Sources of iron are meats, whole grains, egg yolks, legumes, prunes, raisins, apricots. Deficiencies in iron cause iron deficiency and anemia. Toxic effects of iron can be hemochromatosis, GI cramping, vomiting, nausea, shock, convulsions, and coma. And that wraps up for minerals. The food pyramid is next. And I just want you to know the basics of food pyramids, that the orange band is the grains or carbs, that it includes whole grain bread, cereals, crackers, rice, and pasta. I want you to know what enriched means. Anything removed during the processing is added back. The green band is vegetables, and that the red band is fruits, and that includes any fresh, frozen, canned, or dry fruits. That citrus fruits, melons, berries should be eaten regularly as they are high in vitamin C. That the yellow band represents oils. And the recommended fat sources are fish, nuts, vegetable oils, and you should limit butter, margarine, shortening, and lard. The blue band is milk, yogurt, and other milk products. All commercial milk products are fortified with vitamin D. The purple band is meat and beans, and that includes lean meats, poultry, fish, beans, peas, nuts, and seeds. Cheese and bacon are not part of the group because cheese has too little iron and bacon has too much fat. And that legumes such as dried peas, beans, and lentils can be used instead of meat because of their high protein content. Peanuts and other nuts are high in protein, but they're also high in fat and should be used sparingly. I want you to know that the vegetarian diet does not include red meat and that they can be nutritious if planned appropriately. Lacto-ovo vegetarians use dairy and eggs, but no meat, poultry, or fish. Lacto-vegetarians use dairy, but no meat, poultry, or eggs. And that vegans avoid anything that is an animal food. They tend to use soybeans, chickpeas, meat analogs, and tofu. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is food allergies. And this is not in your book anywhere. So these are things that you're going to need to take notes on. So food allergies affect up to 8% of children and 3 to 4% of adults. Food allergies account for 29 to 50% of all cases of anaphylaxis, which in turn cause 150 to 200 deaths annually. That is 6 to 7 times more than deaths from insect stings. Food allergies have no gender or racial disparities. The only thing noted is that Hispanic children tend to have a lower rate of food allergies than white or black children. Peanut allergies have tripled in children under the age of 18, and that they now affect 0.6% of the population. It's the most common cause of fatal food-induced anaphylaxis. Adverse reactions to food additives such as coloring and preservatives are rare and estimated to be between 0.01 and 0.23% of the general population. Virtually any food can cause an allergic reaction. The most common allergens in children are cow's milk, eggs, peanuts, soy, wheat, tree nuts, fish, and shellfish. In adults, the most common allergens are peanuts, tree nuts, fish, and shellfish. About 80% of children outgrow their milk and egg allergies. and children who have had a food allergy are more likely to have other atopic conditions such as atopic dermatitis, allergic rhinitis, and asthma compared to children who do not have food allergies. Anaphylaxis, by definition, is a severe multi-organ system allergic reaction that can be fatal. Contrary to commonly held belief, allergic reactions do not automatically get worse each time. However, previous food-induced anaphylaxis does put a patient at risk for future anaphylactic reactions. A number of factors influence reaction severity, such as the amount of allergen ingested, how the food was prepared, raw versus heated, the amount and type of food ingested, the presence of an acute viral illness, and the status of an underlying chronic disease, alcohol consumption, and exercise. Risk factors for fatal anaphylaxis include adolescence, a history of asthma, a history of anaphylaxis, delayed or no epinephrine received, cardiopulmonary disease, an upright posture during the reaction. Mostly this is for adults because it leads to an empty ventricle syndrome. Adrenal insufficiency, beta blockade, ACE therapy, and initial misdiagnosis. Contact reactions can occur after touching food allergens. Severe reactions, though, are uncommon unless the antigen is ingested or absorbed through the mucosa. Local pruritus, redness, and urticaria can occur in contact reactions. Isolated respiratory symptoms are uncommon during food-induced allergic reactions, but wheezing can be part of the larger reaction. Chronic asthma symptoms are unlikely to be caused by food allergies. Inhalation reactions can occur particularly if the food protein is airborne. For example, during the roasting of nuts, the steaming of fish or shellfish, or the boiling of milk. The smell of food alone, even a strong smell like peanut butter, is comprised of aromatic chemicals that are not proteins. It would not be expected to cause an allergic reaction. Note I said would not be expected. Currently, there are no cures for food allergies. Management consists of education, prevention, and treatment of acute reactions. The mainstays of treatment for acute food-induced allergic reactions are antihistamines and IM epi. Patients who have food allergies and their caretakers must be aware of the risk of hidden allergens or cross contact at every meal. Excuse me, I had trouble saying that. That simply means if someone is allergic to peanuts, if there's the potential that food is cooked in peanut oil, or not necessarily their food, but other food on the same grill is cooked in peanut oil, then there's the potential for them to have an allergic reaction. They frequently have to have special provisions made for them. Okay, and that's all I'm going to say about food allergies. So you do need to know some of the basics about that. Peanut allergies, what the mainstay is, antihistamines, and IM epi. So just review that information. What the most common allergens in children are, what the most common in adults are. Okay. Let's finish these slides. Let's see. Food pyramid we talked about. We talked about vegetarian diet. There's your food pyramid. We're at factors that influence nutrition. Okay, factors that influence nutrition. There are many factors. The major factors are culture. Culture encompasses the total way of life, including values, attitudes, and practices. food practices are a substantial part of culture. Their food habits are based on the availability of foods, preparation techniques, the methods of serving, and the personal meaning of food. American cuisine is a composite of countless national, regional, cultural, and religious food customs. It's very difficult to categorize someone's food habits. And people who are ill commonly have little interest in food, and sometimes foods that are familiar to them during their childhood and youth are more tempting than other types. They're those comfort foods. They associate it with somebody taking care of them. Let's see. Okay, I'm only going to pick out certain cultures and religions to go over. No, just nothing specific, just randomly picked out some. U.S. Southern includes hot bread such as cornbread and baking powder biscuits. And then grits and rice are also popular carbohydrate foods. Some of the favorite vegetables are sweet potatoes, squash, green beans, and lima beans. And then watermelon, oranges, and peaches are popular foods. Fried fish, barbecue, and stewed meats and poultry. These diets are high in carbs and fat and limit proteins in some cases. And so people in U.S. Southern cultures may be deficient in iron, calcium, and vitamins A and C. The next is the Mexican culture. It's a combination of Spanish and Native American foods, with beans, rice, chili peppers, tomatoes, and cornmeal being favorites. Meats often cooked with a vegetable. Tortillas are served as bread many times. Milk should be encouraged in the Mexican culture. And so should vitamin C rich foods. In the Puerto Rican culture, rice is a basic carb. They should be encouraged to drink milk. They like bananas and pineapple, mangoes, and papaya. And then meats are chicken, beef, and pork. And they have a variety of vegetables that they use. So they should be encouraged to have more milk. Middle Eastern cultures have grains, wheat, and rice for their energy. Chickpeas in the form of hummus are also popular. And then lamb or yogurt are used. They may have diets that are insufficient in protein and calcium. And they should also add fruits and vegetables. In the Chinese culture, it's varied. Rice is the primary energy food and it's used instead of bread. Soy sauce is extensively used, but it's very salty and could be a problem for patients who need a low-salt diet. Tea is the common beverage, but milk is not, and the diet is typically low in fat. So you need to encourage milk in the Chinese culture. Japanese also includes rice, soybean paste, curd, and vegetables, fruits, and fish. It's usually served tempura style, which means fried. Again, they have soy sauce and tea that are commonly used. Their diets may be deficient in calcium because they have very little milk in their diet. Even though fish is eaten with the bones, it may not supply sufficient calcium to meet the needs. And again, their diets also contain excessive amounts of salt. So those are the different kinds of cultures that you need to focus on. And it's not so much in what they do eat, but in what they're deficient in.